going to react to an MJV video in this video. True Twitter and Intruder horror stories animated. So I believe this is 2 stories. It's about 11.5 minutes long. So Twitter, I don't really use Twitter too much, to be honest. Like, I use it, but like barely. Yeah, and then Intruder. I always have dreams, not always, but like I have dreams about certain things happening, and then I'm like, oh my god. Or I'll even, it's like I'll even know I'm in a dream. It's like I'll know. It's like I'm aware that I'm dreaming. It's like crazy in a sense. Like I feel like last night I knew I was dreaming, which I was obviously, but yeah, it's like it's crazy how I actually knew. But anyway, I'm assuming Twitter stories first, but yeah, let's go guys without too much yabbering. Good, they have curtains.
I'm turning 19 this year, but this story happened when I was 15. I'm also from France. When I was 15 and just got into my junior year, I created my first Twitter account that I deleted because of this story. I didn't tell anyone my username, neither my family nor my friends, because I didn't have any. My profile picture was an avatar, so no pictures of me on the account, and as far as location, I said Paris because I lived in the suburbs. I didn't have many followers, 20 or maybe 30, and I didn't follow that many people, so my timeline wasn't really that interesting. One evening in October, someone sent me a quite strange direct message. It was a 200 followers account, and the message was like, "Hi, my name is Rob.
I don't know why.
I just turned 17 and wanted to know if you lived in," stating my hometown. Because I'll soon move in and go to that town's high school, and I'm looking for friends. The town he said was obviously the town I lived in. I immediately thought something was wrong because there was nowhere on my profile I said where I actually lived, but after some time thinking, I remembered the tweet that I'd made weeks ago about buses, and I mentioned the city, so I told myself that he must have looked up for that town and found my tweet. His age wasn't shocking because I'm 2 years ahead of my classmates. I was bored, and since he was polite, I answered him. I told him that I was indeed from that town and I go to the high school there. The discussion was natural and we talked a lot that night.
Kind of sus though, be
high
careful.
School, about the food at the cafeteria,
Be
about
careful.
the teachers, that kind of thing. But as it was getting very late, he tried to interpose some personal questions like, do you live far away from the school? In a house or an apartment? Do you live with both your parents? There's 5 of you? You're not often home alone, right? I never answered because it was way too shady for me, and unfortunately he didn't insist. Unfortunately because if he did, I would have probably blocked him. The next day, the same thing. We talked a lot, and he was still asking personal questions to know me better, so I asked him too. And he always answered with what seemed like honesty. I still didn't answer the questions about my house, though, because he didn't need to know anything.
Exactly.
It lasted 2 or 3 weeks, but it was enough for me to develop feelings for him. He was handsome, super kind, and it was everything I needed because I had been bullied for years, and even today, I still develop strong feelings, but most importantly, blind trust in people who are friendly to me.
Me.
In France, in October, we have a 2-week-long vacation, and the day before back-to-school day, he finally told me he was coming to my high school because he had finally moved in with his mom, and asked about a place to meet during the morning break. I was so happy and relieved to be able to meet him, and told him to join me in the hall. But when he understood that there would be people around, he said that he would prefer an isolated place because he was afraid he would not recognize me and didn't want to spend the break looking for me.
What? That's so creepy.
It was a good excuse for me, so I told him to meet me in the 3rd floor bathroom because we weren't allowed to stay there during the breaks and no one would disturb us.
You can't go in the washroom, male and female.
Even though it was a little bit creepy, I was
outside of it, but
still in school, so nothing could happen to me. Next day, back to school day, I made myself pretty. I wore my best clothes, I counted down the minutes, and finally, when break time had arrived, I ran to the bathroom and waited.
He ran to the washroom.
And when he arrived, it was him. He wasn't a catfish. He looked quite like
He's in the washroom with you? That's not allowed.
I still noticed that he seemed a little bit older than he had told me. I thought 20 years old instead of 17. We talked a lot, we got along well.
It's different because that's legal and not legal.
And at the end of the break, he had asked me to go to the fast food restaurant with him for lunch. I said no because I didn't have any money, and I always refuse for people to pay for me. It's kind of my principle.
Yeah, I feel that.
He seemed disappointed, but offered to walk me home after classes. I explained I have to take the bus, but that he could walk me to the bus stop. They looked
Yeah, because then
disappointed
he'll know where you
again,
live,
but
so don't do
finally
that.
accepted. And that's exactly what happened, and it was so great that it quickly became some kind of routine. We met in the third-floor bathroom during the morning break, and
Yeah, but
he
you
walked me
can't.
to the
I
bus
don't
stop after
understand.
classes.
You can't
The
go
surprising
in the women's
fact is
washroom.
that I never saw him in the hallways nor at the cafeteria. But I thought that at the time that the building was huge, and there was over 1,500 students in here, so if our schedules didn't coincide, there was no way we could meet each other.
That's fair, I
This
guess.
little game lasted until December, so almost a month and a half. The 14th of December, a Thursday, I complained about how lonely I was going to be that evening because my dad was abroad for work. My brother was always at his friend's house. My little sister
So in a
was
way, you're
on a school
insisting for
trip,
him to
and
come over,
my mom
in a
had to work
sense.
late that very night. It was very reckless of me, but after weeks, I thought I could trust him. That evening, he walked me to the bus stop. We both waited. I got in the bus, waved at him, and put on my earphones. I had 2 stops before my house. It was about 5:45 p.m. in December, so it was already really dark outside, and as I got out of the bus, I had a really bad feeling. There was that very uncomfortable sensation in my stomach, and I felt like I was being watched.
Is
I
that
pressed
him?
the pause on my music, but kept my earphones in, so that people thought that I couldn't hear anything, and that's probably what saved my life.
Shit.
I lived in a suburban neighborhood, very silent, especially at night, so there was no visibility on the big road that the bus dropped me off on.
Terrific.
When I heard footsteps behind me, I understood that I was right.
There it
There
is.
was someone following me, and he was
Yeah.
not well-intentioned.
And it looks like it's
At
him.
least,
I
I
forgot
could
his name
hear
already.
that he was not accelerating,
Rob?
so he
Rob?
was not trying to catch up to me, but I couldn't guess how long it would last.
He's following you somehow.
As quietly as possible, I tried to reach for my keys in my pocket, and when I finally pulled them out, I ran, as fast as I could. The best sprint of my life. I don't know how it worked, but I managed to open and to close the door before he could reach me.
Yeah, but now he
I
knows where you live.
deactivated my alarm, which, by the way, confirmed that I was home alone, and took a look through the glass panel on the door.
Is there no curtain
It's
there?
not a peephole, it's a whole window, so if someone wanted to see what's happening inside, they can.
Well, that's
It
what...
was Rob. A few meters away, looking at me with a really creepy face. He followed me to my home, probably with a car, and he was clearly not here for a chit-chat. I still don't know why I didn't call the police then. I was completely paralyzed. We both stared at each other for a few minutes, and when I took back control over my body, I ran into the kitchen to get a knife and got back to the door. He was there too, banging against the door. I feared for a second that the glass would break, but it didn't. That moment, when I was pushing against the door, praying for it not to break while he was kicking harder and harder,
Well, that's when you call the
was the
cops.
longest I've ever
Like,
experienced.
are you stupid,
After
or...
maybe 5 minutes, he stopped and got around the house, knocking against every shutter and got
Well,
back to the
close
door.
them all.
He looked angry, but then my neighbor's car reached my house and Rob ran away, probably thinking it was my mom coming home.
You're lucky.
On Twitter, Rob sent me 1,000 messages before I could block him.
Literally
He
1,000?
then deleted his account, and I thought I was done with his story. But quickly after, some accounts which had been created followed me. Their ats were all a series of numbers in the first letter of his name, and as soon as I blocked one, another one would follow me. I chose to delete my account because I couldn't make it stop, and it was too hard to endure because they were sending me dozens of insulting DMs. Later, I talked to the people who were supposed to be Rob's classmates because I haven't met him
Oh,
again in
watch.
days.
He never actually went to
But
the
not
school.
a single one even heard about a Rob.
Yeah, see, he never went to the
This guy
school
was
even.
never a student in my high school,
There it is.
and that is why I've never met him apart from our daily meetings.
There you go.
And that is probably why he seems so old.
Yep.
I never heard about him anymore, and I'm still asking myself, what did he want? And what could have happened that night?
Clearly he wanted to do something. This story is pretty short, only 3 minutes. Intruder, so kind of like the same thing as the Rob one.
One night when I was 15 years old, I
Nightmare
arrived
Files.
home just after midnight and my parents were already in bed. I
Where'd you come home
decided to
from?
leave the back door unlocked for my older brother since he was sleeping over at a friend's house.
Totally safe.
Big mistake.
Totally safe.
In the middle of the night,
Like,
I awoke to feel something cold and metallic
Oh
pressing
my
on
God.
my neck. At first I thought it was my brother playing a prank on me, but then I couldn't see the pitch black bed. Then a big hairy hand covered my nose and mouth. I couldn't breathe. I heard a deep rasping voice say, "If you make any noise, I'll kill you."
Oh my god.
After my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I could make out the shape of a man leaning over me. There was no face, just a black mask with holes cut out for the eyes.
Oh my
He was
god.
holding a knife to my throat. I knew my parents were asleep in the next room, so I tried to make as much noise as I could, but the man's hand muffled my screams.
And plus, he'll kill you
I
if you're making
kicked my
sound.
legs trying to bang on the walls so my parents could hear. All of a
Yeah,
sudden,
but he'll kill you.
through the screams, I can hear my parents get
Oh,
up
thank
and
God.
they're
Yeah,
running
hurry.
towards my room.
Hurry
My
before he
parents
kills
opened
you.
the bedroom door. They were confronted by a terrifying scene. All they could see in the darkened room was a
Yeah, but
big
he'll
black
easily shove a
silhouette
knife in his
bent
throat
over,
and then he's dead.
holding a knife to my throat.
Like, what are they gonna
As soon
do
as
now?
he saw the knife, my father jumped on top of the intruder and struggled with him. My mother grabbed the man's wrist and wrestled the knife out of his hand. My father managed to get his arm around the masked man's neck and began to choke him. I grabbed my cell
Call the
phone
cops
and
right
ran
now.
outside to call 911 as my parents kept the intruder pinned to the bedroom floor
Yes,
until
keep
the
him
police
there.
arrived. The bedroom door burst open and a police officer ran in holding a gun yelling, "Don't move or I'll blow your head off."
Oh shit.
The police handcuffed the intruder and dragged him out of the house. When police
Ew.
searched the man's truck, they found a variety of weapons and some bloody clothes.
Bloody
It
clothes.
turned out that the masked man had already murdered 2 people a few days before. My family and I, we had no way of knowing it, but we had just captured a serial killer. And the scariest part about this is that it can happen to anyone at any time. This was real. The killer's name is Adam Leroy Lang, and he'll be spending the next 25 years to 30 years in prison.
Good. Stay there for life.
What I've learned from this is to always lock my back door.
No fucking shit. My freaking cat knows that. Lock your back door. The fuck kind of thing is that? Like, everybody knows that. Like, is that not common sense anymore? Like, is that not a thing? Like, I don't understand. Is that not a thing anymore? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep my door open. That's normal. I don't give a fuck if your brother's coming home in 5 minutes. Like, I mean, I actually can't really judge it because half the time when my mom goes for a walk with my brother, around this time, it's about 5 p.m. right now. If they go for a walk around this time, I leave the door open usually. Or sometimes I'll keep it closed. Like, for example, if I'm upstairs or if I'm in the washroom or doing something upstairs or a video or something, then I'll leave it open because they don't have a key. I could obviously tell them to bring a key, but if they don't bring a key, then I kind of have to go downstairs because my dad's always freaking asleep on the couch. So he's not going to hear or whatever, answer the door, so then I have to stop the video or stop what I'm doing, or if I'm in the washroom, I'm kind of occupied in the washroom, so I can't really do anything. Especially if I'm using the washroom, it's kind of like... So I just leave the door open, just to save me some trouble, but it actually could get me in a lot of trouble if I don't be careful. So even myself, I'm not perfect. Like, you could easily... Anything could really happen. Like, again, like I said, to anyone at any time. It's 5 p.m. right now, it could happen right now. It could happen in 10 minutes from now. It could happen legit right after this video. It could happen right now. Like, during this video. I could literally end this video right now because someone's breaking into my house right now. So, always lock your door. There's obviously a lot of red flags here. Obviously, leaving the door open, which is stupid on your part. I mean, what are the odds, though? Like, seriously, if you think about the odds, what are the odds that someone's gonna just come into your house in the 20, 30 minutes or whatever hour that you left it open? Like, what are the odds that one person that's planning to break into someone's house comes to yours, or that there's an intruder just happening to be around that same time exactly? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like, is that even... That has to be, like, pretty coincidental for me, but it could happen. For sure it could happen, so just be aware and be cautious of that. But the thing is, even though he was making noise and stuff like that, like, what was his plan? Like, he was literally just, like, putting his hand over him with a knife next to it, so it's like, okay, so like, if you make any noise, I'll kill you. He made noise, he didn't do anything, so like, he's lucky that he's alive. Like, what was the goal there? Like, I don't get what the goal was there. He said, if you make any noise, I'll kill you. Like, what was like the intention of him? He put a knife to his face or his neck after saying, if you make any noise, I'll kill you, right? But then what? Like, now what are you gonna do? Like what's your goal here? Like, I don't understand. Obviously, the goal was to kill him, but the thing is, I don't understand because he never killed him in the end. He literally easily could have put the knife in his throat. Like, the second you start struggling or muffling, you'll be able to hear, obviously, something, or hear some muffling, then you would shove it in his throat. That's it. He's dead. Like, I don't understand. That seems fake as fuck to me. That whole story. So I don't know. But I'm just kind of wondering how that happened, because again, it says true, but it doesn't obviously guarantee it's true. But I definitely believe the first Twitter story was true, but the story, I don't know. It definitely could happen, but like, why would he say, or I'll kill you? And plus, he already killed 2 people earlier, so like, why would he be afraid to kill him? I don't understand. I'm trying to put some stuff together, but I don't have any. If he wasn't there to kill him or hurt anybody, then like, what was he there for? It's not like he said, I'm gonna kill you now, and then didn't do it. I mean, he's a serial killer. It's not like he's like a robber. He didn't rob anything, right? But just trying to rob your life, so I don't know exactly. So, but anyway, that's gonna be it for this video, though. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to like this video, of course. Be sure to subscribe if you are new, and be sure to turn on post notifications as well. If you have any suggestions, please message me on Twitter. Please message me on Instagram. I don't even use Twitter, like I said, but please message me on Instagram. If you do not have Instagram, that's fine. Just comment down below, and I'll try to screenshot it just so I have it right away, just so I don't have to go looking for it. Because that's the issue. So I guess I could just start screenshotting them right when I see them, but for some reason I don't. So either I'm busy or don't have much time. But like, how much time does it really take to be like, boom, done? So I don't know. But with that being said, I hope you guys like this video once again, and just be sure to subscribe, because I know that majority of you, like over 80% are not subscribed. So if you guys, of course, enjoy my videos, then please be sure to do that. It'll help me out, and it lets me know that you guys like my videos and like my reactions. So thanks for watching. Peace out.